Hey, welcome back. Welcome back to the Scorpio channel. My name is Laura. If you're new to the channel, I'm going to do a general message for Scorpio. Know that energy is fluid. Roles could be reversed. Interpret the message as it best resonates. Also, know on this channel, I like to dive deep within the reading. So I do look at everything, but we take time to look at the spiritual blocks, the shadows, and see how they play out as karmic themes. This will allow you to see why everything's playing out the way that it is. All right. Now, if you want to enter into winning a free reading with me, you got to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and write the word of the video in your comment bar. The word of the video is always on the first card that I pull out, and it's the underlining energy that tells me why everyone's doing what they're doing. That's important when we're looking at people that have shadows, right? They have behaviorisms that are in alignment with those shadows. So when they're dealing with us, we don't understand why they're doing what they're doing. However, whatever they're doing is usually triggering us. So when you're able to see things from a different perception, it's amazing how that trigger is gone. You don't have that trigger anymore because you're realizing that a lot of times that person is not intentionally trying to, get underneath your skin. It's just they have blocks. And when we can look at them from this spiritual perspective, we are actually looking at them through the lens of unconditional love, even when they're not deserving of being loved, even when they treat us like shit. And the reason why is because you don't want to walk away from a relationship and have accumulated karma when not even being in a relationship with this person. They just aggravated you. And when you're still angry, that's why there's a lot of times an energetic cord. You don't realize, you're like, why am I still connected to this person? So you'll really be able to tell what kind of situation that you're in, what type of relationship that you're in, when you're able to look at things from this different perception. Because then you can see, oh, you're just a past life karmic mate, or you're a twin flame, oh, you're a life partner. And I was supposed to learn that lesson to help me evolve because it was a spiritual block that I had acquired from this experience. Like I said, being able to see the situation from a different perception is transforming for you. That's why you want to do it. Now, without further ado, we're going to see the word of the day through my deck, this Psychic Soul Healer deck. This deck is made for healing the shadow aspects of ourselves. There are 68 cards in the deck, and they're titled under Transpersonal Psychology. This deck comes with a workbook, and that workbook will allow you to do shadow healing. It'll allow you to deepen your meditation and reflection practices. It will also teach you how to do psychic readings and for yourself as well as professionally. So it's a multi-dimensional deck. Now, we are in the midst of a hurricane, and someone ordered a deck from me literally 2 months ago, and they did not get it. And that's because we have been in hurricane season for over a month now. So I just wanted to put that out there. So the mailers might be a little bit slow. Like if you're ordering it now, hopefully after, I don't know, I think hurricane season ends in the middle of November. So just a FYI, it's like I don't know what happened, but all I do know is that North Carolina is underwater and there is no more state. And so with all these hurricanes, there's a lot of, you know, changes obviously that are happening. And so we really have to be strong right now and strong in who we are. And we can do that if we're strong spiritually, right? Because the spiritual part of self is the God part of self. It connects you to the divine essence of who you are, your creative genius. And your creative genius isn't just able to create in a way that is true to your own unique individuality, whether you're a painter, an artist, a uh, a singer, a dancer, it doesn't matter, whatever your essence is, again, your soul's path is, but it's also able to help you escape from bad situations, to have discernment, that spirit part of self. So it's really important to stay clean during these times. And being clean means that you're not walking around with anger and resentment and feelings of shame and guilt. We want to stay spiritually clean by knowing how we can integrate the spiritual lesson. And again, sometimes we don't even know what those blocks are, but understand that's why the universe brings us people and situations and experiences to help awaken us. It's always bringing us what we need to help us evolve back to our original state, which is just unconditional love. So the word of the video is virtue. Virtue. You know, it's such a high vibration virtue, because it's when you're living in alignment with the laws of the universe, the laws of God, the laws of nature, they're all the same thing. And so the law is that we have to be the best version of ourselves. And I feel like you're in a place in your life where this is what's taking precedent, that if it's not in your best interest, if it's not for your highest good, you actually don't want it in your life, because you're realizing that, your future, number one, is relying on it. Number two, it's that you're the alchemist of your own life. That at this time, I feel like how you have sabotaged yourself in the past, and how you've always sabotaged yourself in the past is by helping the wrong types of people, having the wrong types of people around in your life, by trusting the wrong types of people. So I believe that you're like kind of by yourself right now, and you're in a place of healing, but you're also on the path to being the best version of yourself, because you're trying to manifest something. So virtue is the energy there, and I believe that all eyes are on you, meaning that people are noticing. People are noticing who you are and what you're doing. And I feel like for some, it was a little bit over the top. And for others, other people admired it. Well, the person that you're connected to in the beginning thought that it was a little over the top, and now I feel like they're the ones that are admiring you. So, and it's again because you're walking from this very high vibration of virtue. So let's see, dealing with this person, because I have a feeling that they were not in the energy of virtue. Let's see. All right. Well, they were trying to be like perfect. I believe that you triggered them, because here they are trying to feel like, again, be perfect, when your life almost looks really easy, and almost like you're not you're not trying. So I believe that you're like in the intuitive mind. The intuitive mind is a creative mind, is a psychic mind, which is the right brain, where you're dealing with a person that's very left-brained, which everything has to be a production. And everything's a production because they strategize everything. They're like overly mental about it. So I feel like, again, they come from a place of trying to be perfect because they feel inadequate. You, again, don't think about it one way or the other. I feel like you're just living. So there's a sense that feel comfortable in your life because you have a path, and your path is a natural unfoldment process, which happens when you are co-creating with the universe. When the student is ready, the teacher appears, that you're not worried about the steps. You would understand that the universe always brings you what you need. So I believe that, again, this person is very left brain, and they're viewing you like your life is so easy, and your life looks fun, and my life isn't fun, and I feel inadequate, and life is difficult, and people are difficult. And that's because they're always in the left brain, and the left brain is the survival mind, it's the ego. But the survival mind believes that there's not enough to go around. someone that strategizes, people could feel, like you're not transparent with me. You're not. So again, this person does not feel comfortable with their emotions. And so here it is that they try not to feel. And what it is that they're viewing you from the way that you live, and it's making them feel. Because understand there's language in what we feel, there is meaning in what we feel. I mean, when our spirit it wants to convey something to us, it conveys us through how we feel. I believe that you're dealing with someone that tends to be very, they try not to be emotional. Again, it's so like instead of them actually having a conversation with you, they deliberately try to get underneath your skin to have you react so that they can like soothe themselves, because when a person's not emotionally intelligent, they don't want to create intimacy. Then so the thing is, and how do you create intimacy? Well, you have dialogue, right? Yeah, you don't just have experiences, but you talk about those experiences. So this person doesn't know how to have a conversation. What they do is they deliberately create an argument so that, you'll talk to them so that you'll put their mind at ease, because they're not comfortable, and they're not comfortable in their connection unless people are throwing themselves at them. And that's normally who they go for, is people that throw themselves at them, because that's what they need. They need the billboard. They don't know how to pick up on, the little cues. So if you're someone that isn't comfortable expressing yourself, which you wouldn't be comfortable expressing yourself to this person because they're on a low vibration. So they're not going to make it comfortable for you to express yourself. So it's everything's an argument, or everything's about controlling and being, or you being subservient, which then you can't be yourself. And here it is, virtue is all about being true to yourself, but coming from those higher levels of consciousness. And so, like I said, this person doesn't have conversations. They avoid when there's a problem. So again, they're a runner. So, and it's because there's a part of them that feels inadequate. They love your light. They're drawn to your light. At first, I feel like they didn't really understand your light. They thought that maybe it was over the top. You're someone that's true to yourself. So you don't hide behind material things. This person tends to hide behind material things and always attracted people that did the same. So you're a truth speaker. You're going to want to have deep conversations. You're going to want to create intimacy. And then in it, they made you feel undervalued because, they're not spending time with you, that they're avoiding the hard conversations. So relationships only stay in that fantasy realm and that passion phase for so long. Without feeding it, it's not going to be too long either. So I tend to believe that this person is here for a good time, not a long time. That's normally how they conduct their relationships. So again, they're drawn to you, they admire you. They want to, again, be perceived as someone that's perfect, but they're coming again from a place of shame. And when we're not our shame. So understand this person doesn't like themselves because they don't really know themselves. They don't know themselves because they don't even know what they feel. They don't know how to translate how they feel. And that happens when in childhood, when you're told not to feel. when you're told, like, big boys don't cry, or women should be not, like, don't do tears, whatever it is. Like, it's a stereotype. Or again, where the child also didn't feel safe to express their emotions. A lot of times, parents that didn't know how to deal with their own emotions would definitely did not know how to soothe their children either. So it was seen as an irritant, the emotion, this person's emotions. That's why that person is so detached from what they feel. Again, which makes them like come across as like a narcissist, because I only care about myself. It's like, because if they're not really feeling, they're not really creating empathy. They don't have empathy, rather, they don't have compassion. They look at people like what they can do for them, almost like a transaction, instead of building those deep, intimate connections. It's all about them. And so of course they love, your light, a virtue. Let me tell you, everybody sees that character and everybody wants to be around it. So narcissists always want to be around people that are going to make them look good. They need people around them that look good, because then they feel like, well, that's a reflection of me. So you become more like like a property, like they own you, instead of like what it should be. But if you ask this person, they would really think that they had feelings for you. And so everything with this person, again, even to have a type of conversation, they would see criticism. And if they're a narcissist, that makes them feel like there's something wrong with them, and they already feel flawed. So when you make them feel that way, they punish you. So again, I feel like it's more like a trigger. It's almost like they can't help themselves. And they can't help themselves because they hold on to that rage. And why I say that is, anyone that's trying to be perfect is holding on to like energies of shame and guilt. And over time, it makes you angry, holding even more angry. In the beginning, they could suppress it, but over time, you can't repress it forever. It comes out within the behaviorisms, and how it comes out is that your person actually gets jealous over you because they see that you're able to have it and your life is easier and you don't have any problems, and they're comparing your life to theirs instead of building an emotional connection. And that's because they don't deal with their emotions. They don't want to deal with their emotions. I feel your energy around me, and I wonder, are you thinking about me too? So there is this ESP connection through the heart and mind. So there's an element that your person can't control what they feel, and that makes them really angry. It makes them angry. Like they want to actually see you, I feel like, fail in a way. And it's because then then you're not that great. Then I'm not missing out. See, it's almost like this person wants to control you because they don't feel comfortable having these strong feelings for you, because the strong feelings that they have for you make them go deep within inside of themselves. And that's the problem with narcissists. They act like the person that they're with is an extension of themselves, and you're not an extension of yourself. So again, that they see the 1111, right? That 1111 is that awakening. It's usually like coming into union, where this person may feel as if that you're coming into union, because I feel as if they reflect back on who you used to be, and now they're getting it. now they see, but I don't feel that you're the same person who you used to be. I mean, things were not just frozen in time. They can't just treat you the way that they want to treat you and then just come back into your life. But I think that this person also feels as if, well, if you hold such a high vibration, then you're going to forgive me. If I make you feel bad, again, then you will feel bad because you're a good person. So you'll give me the time. So again, this person's still strategizing. They're still in their ego. They still want to control. Doesn't mean that they don't have feelings, but it becomes a little bit like a cat and mouse game where this person really enjoys the hunt. I know in my heart we'll be together one day, and that helps me trust. Let's keep working on us. So it's again, there's a sense of this person knows that you're going to be together again. It's like they just know it because they can feel it. And this person usually is able to manifest what they want to manifest because they're very obsessive. And someone that's very obsessive is they're thinking a lot about you and they're embodying it, they're visualizing it. It's again, they're able to do that. So again, the child that survives thrives. How? Because again, they're able to go into that imagination realm. This person has to do something with their emotions, understand that. Well, what it normally comes out in is passion, is the physical connection, and also manifesting within the physical world. They might have their own business. They might have their own home. They might be someone that's really good with just building things, with working with their hands. They have a lot of fire energy. And part of that is from all the suppressed emotions that have not been integrated. And here you are, you're like a shiny little penny for this person that they just have to have. It's again, as you surrender your 3D expectations, I surrender to our 5D connection. This person says, I'm all about the physical realm. You have expectations of what you want me to be. It's like, and I always come up short in that department. It's like people are never happy with me. So we have this strong spiritual connection. Well, I'm not even going to take that spiritual connection into hand because that's connected to my heart. That's connected to the emotions. It's not concrete. It's not of the physical realm. It's not fact. So when you release control of wanting me to be the way that you want me to be, it's like, so again, this person like has perceptions that you would not have them in your life because I think that again, you're vibrating at a very high vibration and they don't feel like they can. So what does that actually mean? It means that they probably don't feel that they could be monogamous, that they would want a relationship that was more like friendship, probably possibly friendship with benefits, which is something that you would never do because it's again a lowering of your vibration. So that's the thing. This person is like, no, things need to be my way. But the truth of the matter is, this person, every time they do things their way, they don't like the way that what they manifest within their relationships, within work, within business, within creating something, yes, but they cannot apply the same rules to a relationship. And that's what they keep trying to do. They keep trying to put the square peg in the circle hole, where you're like, I'm not doing anything about our spiritual connection. Our spiritual connection is what it is, whatever spirit made you my soulmate, or we met in a past life and maybe you were completely different, obviously, because I would never have chosen someone like you. Understand that this person thinks that you're like actually putting something out there, making them like have feelings for you. And then they're expected to, be a certain way where that's all of them. You don't expect them to be anyway. It's like, but they know I have spiritual connection, so I have a lot of feelings for you. I don't want to have these feelings for you. And I know you have expectation of how I should be, but that makes me feel really uncomfortable, so I'm not going to do it. But because I don't do it, I get angry and I get mad because I'm fighting myself. So it's like, I'm going to take it out on you. I mean, that's really what it is. It's like because they don't want you to have expectations. They don't want you to have expectations of what it looks like, where it's like this person feels inadequate. So you not having any expectation is what they would actually really need. And because they have a lot of spiritual blocks. When I let myself go deeper into thoughts of you, my heart opens. So again, this person's heart is closed. Then they have strong feelings for you. They try to avoid that. So again, what does it say? When I let myself. So this person holds themselves back, but every now and again, they do allow themselves, and then they feel it, and then they get all freaked out, and then they revert back, and they want things their way because I feel like they feel as if they will lose control. Like I'll get in too deep. I'll lose myself in you. And then my relationship will be all about what you want, not who I am, not what I want. And that's because this person doesn't even know who the fuck that they are. So that has nothing to do with you. That has to do with the fact that if you're going around just strategizing and logic, you're going to be good at school. But what about thinking outside the box? What about living intuitively? What about living your bliss? See, you live your bliss. This person does not live their bliss. They don't do what they feel, they do what's logically right. And that's boring and bland, where we need to have a balance. Love like ours can change the world. So again, this person's like, I can't control how I feel. But if I would let myself really love you, I know that this love would like last forever. I know that this love is what it is. But what we see here is a person that's not on your vibration that gets triggered. So we see a lot of paradoxical energies, which would feel like very, I love you today, then tomorrow I don't love you. Very narcissistic, bipolar type of energy, which would be, I don't know what I'm getting today. This person could love me, they could not love me, they could get triggered by something that I'm doing, and then try to make me feel jealous because, again, they're in a very low vibration. Your high vibration is what this person is called to, the light. But again, it shines a big light on the fact that they're insecure. And, in the fact that they feel insecure, they're actually going to be self-righteous and make you feel undervalued. And it's all because they hold on to shame. And then they never apologize. And instead of coming through and really like reflecting, they're prideful, which is all about avoidance. So they stay really imbalanced, and they're staying balanced because they have rage, they have anger, and that anger like just builds and builds and builds. So now they're just hostile. They're hostile. Like again, they get triggered very easy because they don't have control over this situation, and you're not acting the way that they thought you were going to act, the way that they need you to act. And so they're just stuck with these feelings, and they feel really lonely. And they also, like, because they do have feelings for you, they actually are starting to get a little bit guilty, but they'll never apologize because they're very self-righteous. And again, so they're just stuck with these emotions, and then it comes back to that they're angry, resentful, because they have these feelings that they don't know what to do with. So it's almost like you have this control over them that they don't really understand how or what it is. They just know it's spiritual, and they're too afraid that you envision like this perfect person because you have this spiritual connection, and they're never going to meet up, like live up to that. And then they're going to draw full emotions for you and lose themselves in you. And then you're going to abandon them. This is in their mind, how their mind works. It goes from one to another and to another, where they're not even in a relationship, but in their mind, you already broke up with them. So that's again why this person is like, I don't even want to go there with the emotions and the feelings, and because it's something that's not concrete, I don't understand it, and I don't have control. And that's really what it's all about. But either way, Spirit says you have no control over love, because that's all that I am. I am unconditional love. You have unconditional love for this person. You don't want to feel that, but you have it. You don't have a right to say you do or you don't. But understand, this person is very wounded. That's why they look like a narcissist. But narcissists, all narcissists, don't know how to deal with their emotions. They strategize. So we have to say, why did you connect to this person? Self-love, part number one. Now, because we already know what they think. They think that they're eventually gonna like figure it out. That's what they think. And your property, so you'll be there still. This is their limited perception. We're not saying that you will be. It's from this person's limited, very narrow, very ego mind. Well, we have this connection, so it's going to work out. It's going to work out. But really, what Spirit says, self-love. Were you expecting somebody that's not capable of loving you to love you? Because if you get self-love, it normally means that you have to reparent yourself, that you didn't get enough love growing up. Possibly for some of you, you were just in bad relationships that didn't give you love. So, or even friends, people that you expected to show you love. So Spirit says the antidote is to love yourself. And that doesn't mean just go out and buy yourself stuff, but go and volunteer. Do something that's going to make you feel good, right? It's again something that's a virtue, something that's of a high vibration that's going to make you feel good. And I believe that that's why you do feel good, because you're always coming from that place of, well, I try and give back. I try and, be the example. I try to be that person that people can go to for advice or for help. That's what self-love a lot of times is just going off and doing what your soul wants, but also contributing somehow to bettering humanity. That's what's going to connect you to source. Now that's a gift. Again, your connection to the divine, but we saw that you were in your right brain, that you're in the creative mind, and the creative mind is that supernatural genius. Again, if we can imagine it, we can create it. That mind is of the imagination, it's of the psychic realm. And when you're able to visualize and you're giving yourself self-love, which is again doing something for yourself to better yourself. Again, could be taking a class, could be mastering a craft, but you're doing something that's feeding your soul. And then at the same time being of virtue. Well, Spirit says that's how you get connected to source. That's how you give yourself self-love. So that's the recipe to manifest. That's why you have this person's attention. That's why you have a lot of people's attention. And that's why this person is like, again, if they're narcissists, they're like, I like that people are looking at you that way, because then I could be a part of it. I want to be seen that way. I want to be seen as like this innocence, which you have, which is you need to have that innocence like a child is being like a child, like be like childlike, God says, because children don't have an expectation of how things are supposed to look. They don't, you know, they're able to change route is what I'm trying to get. They don't have an expectation of when things are going to happen. They're just out there having fun. They're becoming. They're not really an actor, but they pretend up on stage. They're not really in a sword fight, but they're pretending. That's not really a house that they live in. They're pretending. So they're utilizing what's in their environment to create themselves, where Spirit says, you have to be like a child life in order to create the life you want to have. And that's by becoming it. So you have to use your imagination. And you also have to, again, utilize the broken structures and whatever is in your environment. It's not going to be perfect. This person gets stuck in having everything perfect. Everything needs to be methodical. Everything needs to be perfect. I need to look a certain way. There is no such thing as perfect, God says. We shoot for excellence. Only the universe is perfect. Only God is perfect. Only unconditional love is perfect. They're all the same things. Only nature is perfect. All the same things. Only source is perfect. And so again, we shoot for our excellence, and we do that by giving ourselves self-love, and that's by finding ourselves and by pouring into ourselves, and that's what you did. But I believe that those were gifts because you learned how to do that. You learned how to do that. Play. I'm not lying. Play. So it's like everything like a child. So that's what you gained when you walked away from this person. So even though it probably hurt a ton walking away from this person because of what you wanted it to be, what it could have been if this person was healthy, but they're not healthy. And Spirit says, no, suppression. That was actually one wound. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to pull one more. Belittled. So again, growing up in your environment, you were belittled, and that suppressed you. And belittled could be just made fun of. Any idea you had, it was suppressed. Like, no, instead you'll go to school. Oh, don't do that. Or you wouldn't be good at that. So if somebody else's opinions were put onto you, and that made you go very inward into yourself, like internalized a lot. So when you internalize a lot, you get a good connection with source, believe it or not. And so again, the innocence of who you are was kind of robbed. So Spirit's saying, well, I want you to go back to childhood. I want you to give yourself that self-love that you weren't able to do as a child, which is to go out and play, to go out and play. Be innocent. Have no expectations of what it looks like. Just like unconditional love, there is no ownership, there's no expectation, there just is surrender. And just have fun, be innocent, clear your mind. That's when you connect to me so that you can recondition, so you can integrate again being suppressed and belittled because those energies were still inside of you. Only you had done healing. It showed that you did healing because you were aware of what this person did. You didn't tolerate. However, it's like it didn't mean that it didn't bother you when you walked away and this person is like so high and mighty still on their high freaking horse that they're not even going to apologize, that they're not even going to do anything because it's again they're so prideful. They'd rather cut their nose off to spite their face. It's like, wow, I really thought that you were someone else. And Spirit says, yeah, thank God you didn't you know lose yourself in that person, because there would have been grand karmic consequences. But look, because you didn't, because you gave yourself the self-love, things are, whenever you pour into yourself, things are happening. You're literally ascending life. You're ascending, you're going into more finances, like better standing, better quality of people that are around you, meaning that you pass the test. And when you pass the test, you ascend. You let go of who you once were, or what you realized that you once were, and that energy of belittled, well, made you feel not good enough. It suppressed you, so you didn't really know who you were. So you would actually feel like you weren't good enough because you don't know who you are. And our brain will say, "Oh, I don't know who I am." It's going to say, "No, that's broken. It's defective." It's so, again, like there's something wrong with me. When spirit says, "No, you just needed to find your magic." And that only happens when there's unshakable faith. So you acquired those, and you did so by, again, tapping into your own inner sanctuary. And you were able to then find your soul's path. Okay, so that's what it's about. You listen to what your soul was telling you. What is the soul's calling, right? And that's your soul's path. And that's when you live your bliss. You're not living from the logical, analytical mind. You're living from the creative mind, the right brain, the creative genius. And that is how you transcend the limitations of the ego and how you actually ascend life. So spirit says, no wonder why this person is like in awe and is like, wow, they've never seen it, and they want you to be like their shiny little penny, but they're not healed. But this is why. And it was their karma to see it. And it's going to be their karma to know that they're not going to be able to be with you, because you're not just going to go running up to this person and be like, yeah, be with me. No, not now. So the spirit leads us off with self-love, darling. You got that twice. So that's what this was about. Are you going to choose you, or are you going to choose somebody that doesn't even know how to give you love? They don't even love themselves. Self-love. I attend to my own needs by listening to my own heart. My inner essence lets me know what is good for me. I respect my limits. I answer the requests of my body and my soul. Thus, I learn to love myself. And that's what Spirit said. That's what this was about. This was a karmic test, and you passed the test, so you're ascending life. I'm going to leave that there, Scorpio. You let me know how you resonated. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.